You don't believe in private ownership of handguns, do you?
That's incorrect. I own one myself.
Do you? Do you believe in private ownership of assault weapons?
Yes,
What do you
sir.
own, by the way?
That's a pretty private question.
I guess irony can be pretty ironic sometimes.
As a gun owner of many different types and a 20-year military veteran, I have some expertise in weaponry and self-defense weapons. What could you, in 15 seconds, would you define an assault weapon for me?
So
If you go past 15 seconds, I'll just interrupt you.
no, so I'll go shorter than that because I honestly, I do think if Congress wishes to take that up, I think Congress would have to do the work, but we would be there to provide technical assistance. Unlike you, I'm not a firearms expert to the same extent as you may be, but we have people at ATF who can talk about velocity of firearms, what damage different kinds of firearms cause.
Mr. Dettelbach, in your 2018 campaign for Attorney General, you called for a ban on so-called assault weapons. What is an assault weapon? Could you define it for me?
Senator, when I was a candidate for office, I did talk about restrictions on assault weapons. I did not define the term, and I haven't gone through the process of defining that term. That would only be for the Congress if it chose to take that up to do, and if you chose to take it up, I would be at the ATF, and there is perhaps expertise or data we could give you so that you could make the appropriate decision to both protect the public and protect the Second Amendment.
So you're running for public office and you called for a ban on assault weapons, but you don't have a definition for assault weapons?
Senator, it would only be for a legislative body, whether it was the Ohio legislature or the Congress, it would only be for a legislative body to do that work. And I acknowledge it would be a difficult task to define assault weapons because on one hand, you don't want it to be so narrow that it doesn't offer the protections that are intended. And on the other hand, you certainly don't want it to be so broad so that it infringes unnecessarily on the rights of citizens. So I acknowledge that's a difficult task, but it would be for this body to do, not for me.
Why is it so hard to define assault weapons?
Well, I think, Senator, what I told you, which is that you don't want it to be so narrow as to be meaningless, and you don't want it to be so broad as to infringe on the rights of law-abiding Americans unnecessarily. For me, it would be what elected legislators who are charged with having these discussions and debates would choose or not choose to call it.
Okay. I think it's very telling that you're nominated to lead the ATF and you don't have a definition of assault weapon. And the point is that there is really no such thing as a category of weapons known as assault weapons. There are rifles, there are shotguns, there are pistols, they have properties, they have features, but there is no such thing as a category of assault weapons.
Do you believe in banning assault weapons?
I do, sir.
Okay. Define assault weapons.
Assault weapons would be something that members of Congress would define.
Well, how do you define it? You're going to be running the agency.
Senator, I think this is a good question. If I am confirmed as ATF director,
I got 35 seconds left. Define it for me, would you please, sir? What's an assault weapon?
yeah, Senator, the bill to ban assault weapons
what is your
dozens of
definition of
pages.
an
There's
assault
no way I could define an assault weapon.
You don't have any. You're going to run this agency, and you don't have a definition of assault weapon.
But I would be enforcing the definition that members of Congress
You're going to be
passed.
issuing rules and regulations. Just give me your definition.
I'll give you one definition that ATF
Give me your
currently
definition.
uses. One definition that ATF currently
Give me your definition.
I can give you one definition.
If you won't
that ATF
answer my
currently
question, how can I vote for you? I'm done, Mr. Chairman. I don't think I'm going to get an answer.
There really is no such thing as an assault weapon. That is a term that was manufactured by liberal lawyers and pollsters in Washington to try to scare the American people into believing that the government should confiscate weapons that are wildly popular for millions of Americans to defend themselves and their families and their homes.